That's all cash, right? Mm-hmm.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Guys, first, let me thank y'all for taking an hour of your time to be here. I really do appreciate it. We kind of feel like the dual career people are we're kind of missing the boat on giving you guys support. I've been around this business long enough to know that there are a lot of y'all running around. Your expectations as far as doing the dual career deal, I got a kick out of when I went through this list and looked and see what you guys are doing. So each one of you is going to have a different amount of time during the day. Okay, we got of course we got people in the service industry. We got 4 or 5 of those people. We got nurses, we got masseuses, pharmacy techs, we got a boat captain. I mean, I thought there's nothing really funny about that. We got Chuck Turner here. He does about 4 or 5 things, don't you do, Chuck? So everybody's got their own expectation about what you're going to pull out of your real estate career. Ultimately, we would like to see you guys become full-time agents, because we think that's the best way to have a life you can live. And there's nothing like really working for yourself. I mean, so we'd love to get you off to that point. I have about 25 people on this list. I'd venture to say there's probably another 15 or so in the office that we couldn't identify that are doing the same thing as you guys are doing. So that's roughly about 25% of our agent base. Okay, so that's a pretty substantial, portion that we really want to start concentrating on. And what we're going to do is what our initial plan is to kind of get together every quarter. Okay, so it's not going to take a lot of your time, but hopefully as we progress through this, you guys are going to be coming on as full-time agents. Just to give you a little history, I know in our current agent base, we got 2 or 3 people that started out in the service industry and got caught up and came into the real estate company that are making over 6 figures. Okay, so it can make a substantial change in your life. Okay, and quite frankly, I've tried it too. When I first got into real estate, I was kind of doing something else too. And I really found out that I couldn't be real great at either one. So I think I had to finally take the dive and dive right in. Because I had a lot of responsibilities, and I was kind of afraid at first. And I had to kind of overcome that fear to say, hey, I just got to take a plunge one way or another. So that's what I did. I wanted to get some kind of idea of what kind of production we're making out of you folks, or you were producing. And I was surprised, just the people I know that do the business like y'all do, several careers, we had within the last year, we had about $7 million in volume done, okay? And that translated to roughly $200,000 in gross commission income. So that's pretty substantial, folks. Given the time you're spending on it. And what we want to do is figure out how we can help you. If you're looking to get out of the dual career situation, make real estate your primary, the one thing that you do, we're looking to provide you the tools to do that. It's going to make so much difference in your life. I know, because I've experienced it. I was kind of running here and there and everywhere else trying to do my business. So, that's the kind of that's the purpose of what we're doing here. And please, at any time, just interject. First of all, I'd just like to get an idea of kind of what y'all do you know, as far as taking care of your real estate business, when you do it, you know, how much time you spend. Larry, what about you? Larry, what do you do?
Well, I have a unique situation, but I won't go into all that, but I work for an engineering firm. That's what I've done for 30 years.
Can everybody hear him?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I love it. I love doing that, but I'm older now and, you know, the real estate world, I know it's hard work. I know a lot of people work their butt off to make the money they make. But the thing that appeals to me is what you said earlier, is like the kind of life, you know, I just want to have free time. You know, I want to be able to do whatever I want to. I don't have to have $1 million in the bank. It'd be nice, but I mean, I know I'm not going to get $1 million unless I work for it. So for me I definitely would like to adjust. I mean, this right now is kind of like a little chain that's holding me back. And maybe I'm doing things wrong, you know, as far as trying to transition. But my situation is where I have to, you know, I have to get a paycheck. And but I have to do a better job of finding time to educate myself, whether it be just, you know, going on a listing appointment with somebody, which is what I need to do open house. Those are things that I can do. You know, I can keep, you know, up to date on things. You know, I belong to these forums on Facebook, and sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're just, there's 50-50 on opinions. You know, it's like somebody will throw a question out there, then, you know, like I missed something I think y'all talked about. I don't want to change subject, but the whole Zillow thing that's coming into play. I think y'all had a big family reunion about that. And that's something I'd like to learn.
How many people do you come in contact with a day? How many
that I
people?
work with?
Yeah.
Very few. Not a lot. It's not like I'm exposed.
How about you, Chuck? Real quick.
How many people I come in contact with?
No, tell me about
Okay.
your
Okay.
question.
Well, I have an eBay store, Amazon store. I sell all types of equipment, all kinds of products. I used to work for a company, a friend of mine in Mobile, consulting work. I quit that, and hopefully here in another 2 or 3 months, I'm just getting out of everything.
So you're hitting a lot of people. How about you?
I'm a shift manager at a barbecue pit store.
Okay. So you're meeting different people every day. How about you?
Hospital.
Oh, you're a hospital worker.
Yeah, no problem. Right.
Okay, great. So you come in contact with a lot of people, right? You talk to a lot of people during the day. How about you, Cherise? You guys are
I am a hairstylist.
Oh. So you guys are meeting people every day. I mean, you're making contact with numerous people. Shauna, what do you do?
I do service admin and AR for a company that works on pleasure crafts and sport fishing boats and things like that.
So what I'm hearing is you guys have a great opportunity, okay? And because you're meeting lots of people every day. So the key is that you got to start having the right conversation. You have the opportunity because everybody comes, you know, you're in front of a lot of people, just the few people I've talked to here. So what you do is you have the great opportunity to have the conversation. The key thing is for you guys, since you're not doing it, you know, on a full-time basis, is to make sure you're having that conversation and be cognizant of that. Okay. How many days a week do you miss an opportunity because you didn't have that conversation?
Probably get 5 days out of the week.
Okay. So the first thing you guys need to do is get business cards and make sure you're giving business cards out to everybody you meet. Okay. Whether they want to buy real estate or whether they want to sell real estate, you need to put that business card in their hand. Okay.
One obstacle I've come across when getting into that is kind of having that interjection of, well, why are you doing a dual career then if you're such a great agent? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's been one of my biggest obstacles when wanting to bring that conversation up, is that I know I can do good in this industry, but I just have only been in it for so long that, you know, I'm trying to provide that information to keep their confidence up with having that conversation.
Well, regardless of that, if you don't have that conversation, it's like it's like going up to bat and not swinging, right?
True.
So you got to have that conversation if that becomes part of the conversation. And quite frankly, I don't think a lot of people would ask you that anyway, but that's a big possibility.
Yeah.
But don't let that be a fear of yours, because you got this, it's just something you got to do.
Yeah.
Regardless. And quite frankly, everybody you talk to is not become a customer of yours, but a lot of people will be impressed, hey, I just started my real estate career. Here's my business card. I'm currently licensed, and I'd like to help you if you're looking to buy or sell. So, first thing you got to do is have that conversation and make sure you're having it on a daily basis with the people you're around. You guys out here that are married, that have kids, that's a great source of leads, okay? And that you're not taking any time out from your current job on the weekends. I know I used to coach baseball and football with my son, and it was one of my big sources of leads. Constantly having a conversation on weekends or practices, with the parents of the kids that played with my son. So that's an exercise that doesn't take anything away from your current job. It's not a lot of work, but you're going to find business there. So those are a couple of ways, you should utilize in your social life, in your church. Write these things down, because you can forget, and we don't want to walk out of here and forget these things, right? So write these things down and make mental notes about, hey, I need to take advantage of any situation socially I come across where I can expand my business. Because folks, you're going to get to the point, if you can close 2 deals a month based on our average sales price, and based on a 3% commission, you can make over $100,000 a year. Is anybody making more than $100,000 a year at their current position, where you have the freedom that you have? Flexibility is one of the biggest deals in real estate that I couldn't have done the things I did with my kids while they were growing up if I wouldn't have been selling real estate. So that's kind of where you got to get. So, first of all, let's figure out where you want to get. Okay. What's your expectations? And figure out what's it's going to take. Like if you could close 2 transactions, you could walk out of your other job right now. Most of us and probably make 40 or 50% more money than we're making. Okay. So you kind of got to figure out what kind of activities and how much time that's going to take. Andra, are you there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When do you do? I see you in the office sometimes. When do you do most of your real estate?
I get the most done when I'm there, but the other days if I'm not at the office, I have this room I'm in right now at my house that I work in. It's nice to be padded and quiet. So,
Well, the first thing
I do most of it in here.
Yeah. I heard this,
What?
Jen and I listened to one of this Keller Williams agents, and he was a dual agent.
Quiet.
Went through the process, and he was talking about all the the things that he came against. First of all, most important really is you can't have limiting beliefs. If what you got to do is work to overcome those, and of course how you do that is you have success and you close deals. Right? Pardon me? Yeah. So that, how can you overcome them? And what, kind of to do all these things is there's 2 or 3 things that Keller Williams really offers that you won't find most other places is command. And I hope everybody's on command. And if you don't, you need to get on it, and you can get on it through your MyKW internet account. you can go in there and you can set up smart plans, and those things can do a lot of lead generation for you. Okay. So first thing you got to do is make sure you have, huh? I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
I use the
I'm sorry, you're breaking up real
the
bad.
paid campaign.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, the first thing
And I used a
I'm sorry, Andrew, you're breaking up real bad. We can't hear what you're saying. But the first thing you got is develop a database, okay? And
That's okay.
Somebody mute Bert. But first thing you got to do is you got to have a customer base, right? We call it a database. So all these people you talk to and we're talking about, go and take a list of everybody in your company that you work with. They immediately go in your database and you set them up on a smart plan in Command.
Hey, and think of your database, think of it as a data bank. Change the way you think, because this is where all your business, all your money is going to come from.
Yeah, guys, and if you don't have a database, you're not in business, right? Okay, you can't walk around with all these people in your head because you can't develop systems and whatnot to touch them, So you got to have a data bank, as Jen says, and you got to have a way to make contact with everybody in that database, okay? So what we've done is if you got a list, if you don't have that database put together, you need to put it together. And we brought a new person onto our staff, if anybody doesn't know that. Jamie Jenkins, she works in Orange Beach, and she's going to assist you in putting that in Command. And what you can do from Command is you can schedule where you send out emails to these people. You can schedule Facebooks, right? Jen, why don't you go into just explain that?
So yes, what I'll do is I will send everybody out the Command CSV file for your data bank. And I'm also and because so many of us keep our contacts on our phones, I'm going to give you the name of an app that you can download. It's called SA Contacts Lite. It will download all the contacts from your phone, and then we can put those into Command just to make it easier. And then once we have those people into Command, we can set them up on the smart plans. And the smart plans, it's a combination. It is phone calls, it's texts, it's direct mail, it's email, and then, whatever you want, whatever else you want to do, because your goal is to touch them 36 times a year. And the cool thing about the smart plans, there's the monthly neighborhood nurture, and that one is so easy because all it requires is an address, and it will send a monthly neighborhood update to your clients, showing them what's active, what's pending, what's been sold. And that's just huge for people who are either looking to sell or looking to buy. And the cool part is you can put them on multiple neighborhoods. So maybe they want to sell their house, so you can, put the neighborhood that they currently live in, and then you can add in additional neighborhoods of where they want to live. And it's just a monthly email that just, keeps you in the forefront of their minds. And then one of the other really cool things, and I'll send y'all out the this mastermind, a dual career mastermind that Carson and I listen to, because so many of you work in an office, and you have an advantage because you're around so many people every day, unlike some of the full-time real estate agents who are in here not around anybody, so they're dialing. So don't be an undercover agent. And like Carson said, have your business cards with you. And if anybody needs an additional name tag, let me know. I'm more than happy to order you a name tag. But one of the really, really cool things also to get people from where you work is just, creating something from contribution for your coworkers. I mean, you don't know how many of them might want to buy and sell. So go to your HR. If you have HR, ask them to let it be an employee benefit for where you work, that you can help people, achieve their dream of home ownership or, upsize, downsize, whatever. And if anybody's interested in doing that, I'll help you do some legwork. I'll reach out to some of the other agents that have been successful with this. And yeah, there's no point in reinventing the wheel. So I'll definitely help you find that. But sorry, circling around, but back to the SMART plans. I'll send you the command spreadsheet. You can put all your people in there. You can send it to me, send it to Jamie. You can send it to Scott Leroy. They can also do it for you. So you have lots of help.
Yeah, just that's a great way. You're not gonna have to spend a lot of time. You're gonna have people calling you eventually. You're not even gonna know how they got hooked up with you. Okay, huh?
So I'm good with that.
Yeah. Hey, that doesn't matter, right? Family, friends, people you don't know. But and definitely don't be in a situation where somebody you work with does not know you're a real estate agent. Okay, because that could be a huge mistake right there. So advertise, be a walking advertisement while you're walking around. This doesn't take a lot of effort. This is not taken away from your other job, and this is going to change your life. It's absolutely going to change your life once you figure out this all out. I don't know, each one of you's got a different schedule at your job. Like Chuck, I see Chuck around here a lot. I mean, I see him more than full-time agents. So he's probably got a good, time blocking is key. If you guys get the opportunity, Zoom into a time blocking class. We have them probably every month, don't we, Jim?
Time blocking, not so much,
Yeah.
but you should really try to track what you do. And what I'll do is I'll also send you a kind of a tracking sheet just so you can keep up with your calls or open houses, that sort of thing.
Some people have the time during the day to do 2 hours of lead generation. Okay. Now, some of you are not, and you're going to have to go home and you have to work in the evenings. One thing I would highly recommend you do is do open houses on the weekends. Take 4 hours out of your Sunday, go to church with your family, go to lunch, and then go sit in an open house. You're going to be talking with buyers and sellers, and don't just go and sit in an open house. Take your database. If people aren't walking through the door, start calling your database. Okay. Hey, I'm at a great house. You need to come see it. I know you're what, blah, blah, blah. That's how you work an open house. I hate to hear people complain about, hey, I didn't have anybody come in my open house, because it's an excellent opportunity, especially for you guys that have to work and don't have the time to just go do lead generation out of an open house.
And we can help you advertise open houses. And if you're looking for a house to hold open, post it in our private page. Just, I would post it on Monday or Tuesday. Just say, hey, who has a home that I can hold open in, X area? Because one thing that'll drive more people to your open house is just getting it out earlier. So the quicker you decide on doing an open house, we can assist you with designing a flyer for it, and then we can post it all on our social media as well. And then when you're time blocking, because I know a lot of y'all work just, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, don't think that, some people, they will make calls all during their lunch and then they'll time block in the evening. So don't think that evening lead generation is not going to work, because honestly, you might have more success with it. Because think about it, coming from you. It's like, or, when somebody calls you in the morning, half the time I'm scrambling, trying to get caught up with work, kids, whatever. And I typically don't answer the phone. I'll just let it roll to voicemail. But, you know, in the afternoons or the evenings, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you know, people are just, you know, more at home, just, you know, not focused on the day. So you may get better results lead generating in the afternoon, early evening. So don't let that scare you. And your time block doesn't have to be all, like I said, one big stretch. You could do like 12 to 1 or 1 to 2, and then you could do like 6 to 7. But just whatever you are time blocking, just make sure that you are focused, you know, in on that. Consistently work your time block.
Make these contacts, make them valuable. Be very purposeful when you're having these conversations. Not off the cuff, just, you know, shooting the breeze. Make them purposeful. Ask the right questions. Okay, and when you ask the right questions, okay, that digs out these people start thinking, okay, and they might walk away from this conversation, now I don't know anybody or whatever, and then 2 days later they come across somebody that's looking, you know, to bump up against a real estate agent, and you immediately come to their mind. So these conversations, they need to be on point. Okay, especially with you guys, because you got only so many hours you work in your business, need to be on point. They need to be purposeful. Okay, and you're trying to capture a lead and work it, you know, as soon as possible. Okay, and then you're doing all this, and let me just tell you the secret to this whole thing. Okay, it's getting a listing. Okay, getting a listing is going to jump start your business like never before. Tell them, Chuck.
Ask for a friend.
Yeah. But you get a listing, you're going to have buyers, guys. You're going to have people calling on your sign. You're going to increase your business like over 50 to 75% otherwise. Okay, because when you're working when you got a listing, you got a sign in the yard. Okay, and that sign's doing all this work for you. Okay, it's doing all the lead generating. Okay, it's taking care of a lot of your touches you wouldn't be doing. We call it leverage. Okay, so the best, and you guys need leverage more than anybody, right? I mean, you guys need leverage because y'all don't have the time. And I'm telling you, once you once you start getting listings, go ahead and just turn your the other career shirt in. Okay. Has anybody does somebody got something they want to tell us that we're not talking about? Like, I'm just curious about, just what y'all do, what you're doing. Like, I know Alex is on a team. What you really need to be setting those goals. Like, we're talking about having these conversations. You need to have 10 a day. Can everybody have 10 a day? Is that possible? Is that not possible for anybody in here because of another job?
I don't know if I can have 10 conversations a day. I'll have to run fence.
I don't know if I want to have 10 conversations a day.
I'll try.
No, but okay, so what I was, we have these goals when we go through Ignite. Has there been, like, if you had a chance to go to it through Ignite, okay, if y'all could time block to a point where you could take that 3 hours, I think it's 3 days a week, to go through Ignite, you would see all those tools. Some of the things I tell them to do is have 10 conversations a day talking about real estate to somebody. And I'm just wondering, is that possible with your other job? Huh?
I said most definitely.
Yeah, most definitely would be. So that's one thing. That would be my goal. Okay, that's goal number one. You can write it down. Okay, because these are proven. These are proven to work and make prolific real estate agents out of folks. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. I want to do 10. Okay, if you work 10 hours a day, you might go 5. Okay, but you got to set a goal, and if you're not monitoring, you're not going to be effective, and you'll be right, where you are right now. Okay. Another thing is you is it possible to have 2 real estate appointments a week? You could certainly have 10 conversations a day, right? Now, these conversations, you can't sit there 30 minutes, right? You got to be purposeful. Hey, let's have a 5-minute conversation. First of all, I want to make sure that you know I'm a real estate agent, okay? And I'm a good one. And, you know, after that, hey, you know, where do you live? Hey, do you know, what's your current, you know, you figure out look, do they have a growing family? Do they need, hey, you got a growing family, you probably need more room. Why don't we go looking for houses? You know, stuff like this. It's just like those kind of conversations you got to have. And out of that, once you're building, all these people at the same time are going in your database, right? You got their numbers, their emails, and you're going to start them on a drip campaign, okay? So you're working, okay? This isn't just conversations. You're working and you're pulling this all together because this database is going to be your business and it's going to make you rich, okay? So can you have 2 appointments a week? Can you? I know you
most definitely can.
Yeah.
It's about getting it.
You got enough time to do 2 appointments a week, Chuck?
Should, yeah.
Everybody should have that enough time. These are requirements. These are team, matter of fact, these are team requirements to be on a real estate team that we have here in Keller Williams. Okay, so these are minimum type things for these people. And I would think that you dual career people, since you're making this type of investment, could find the time to have these goals. Okay. But I'm telling you, if you do talk to 10 people a day and have 2 appointments a week, you'll make $100,000. Okay. And you won't have to work 2 jobs if you do that. Okay. And we've got the people to set up your database and start you on a drip campaign where you're touching these people and all you're doing is calling them and they're updating your database. If that's what we got to do. Okay. If that's what we got to do. Now you're going to have access too, because you're going to be calling through there, you know, because out of this database is going to come those hot prospects, right? So you're going to be working with them closely, you know, and eventually, hopefully you're going to have appointments to show or go list a house. So if you do that, you should have 2 listings per month and 2 closings. If you do that, and this is what's required to be on a real estate team here, okay? The only thing is you don't have to pay 50% to the team. You're doing it yourself. But I'm telling you, if you do this, I can show you the math. You'll make in excess of $100,000.
Jennifer, I have a question for you. Can Jamie help with like the postcards, the mail outs?
Right now, she is just focusing on contacts, smart plans, and campaigns. She is not working that yet, but we can, I mean, she can help you design the postcards, but
Okay.
not really mail them. But we can definitely do the designs in command for you, and then that way you just send it to the printer.
Okay, so yeah, I was using the campaign, the mail out campaign from Command. It turned out pretty good, but there were some, you know, sometimes it just doesn't take. I have to wait, and so I was wondering if she can help with that, kind of prepare it. I don't want anybody to be like mailing it out, but more so like with the cards.
Yep,
Mhm.
she can definitely help
Okay.
you with the designs, and you know, if you're holding, like I said, if you're holding an open house and then you get a new listing, or with those postcards, or you just need some flyer, we can definitely help you with that. Just not like, you know, the sending out part.
No, that's okay. Yes, okay. Thank you.
Excellent question, though.
Yeah, leverage us, leverage Jamie, leverage me. I mean, that's what we're here for. We want to see you succeed. And, You know, we know that you have limited time, so little things that we can do to help you succeed, ask. I mean, if you don't ask, we're not going to know.
I think it's going to be really helpful. I don't know if everybody is dealing with the same thing, but it's for me, it's the time personally. It's, you know, you have time to maybe call, talk to people, but you don't have the time to actually do, because those smart plans, as good as they sound, they're absolutely awesome, but you also need to keep up with them.
Right.
So, because I see that I'm on drip campaign for someone else, and there is nothing more embarrassing than I talked to that person already, and then they send me 2 different emails. Hey, do you have time to talk? Long time no hear. You know, and so that tells me that they didn't stop the smart plan, and you know, it's just running. So this is what I'm more afraid of, like that I'm going to start the campaign, but I'm not going to have the time to actually, you know, manage the campaign. And then I look like a fool, you know, that I don't have that personal touch. So if, yeah, so the smart plan, I think it would be great, but we just don't, it is kind of scary to me to put it in place. But if she could help with that, I think that everybody would appreciate that a lot.
I tell you what, and to like to avoid that type of situation is to make up a generic like home buyer just plan, like maybe ideas for the house, or my ideas, and advertise yourself as the real estate. So you just keep sending those out, and they're gonna get them. And they won't be, well, you just sold me a house. Well, big deal. I'm just saying, these are helpful hints for homeowners or whatever.
And it's really cool because Command just released like a monthly newsletter magazine.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just general information just to keep you in the forefront of your clients' minds.
Yeah. And guys, I'm telling you, there's a small percentage of real estate agents that do this. Okay. And you're just way ahead of the game if you're doing something like this, because you're going to click. They're going to ignore them, okay? They're going to ignore them, they're going to ignore them, and they're going to ignore them, and then they're going to need it, okay? So that's just the way it works. It's a number game. But if you're not there when they, when they're ready to do something and you're not in front, they're going to use somebody else, right? That's what's going to happen. So what these things, that's what they're developed for. They're especially important to you guys because you're not doing this 100% of the time. Hopefully we will remedy that, by the end of the year. I mean, set your goals, I want to be doing this by the end of the year. I want to do this. So how I'm going to do it, I'm going to talk to 10 people a day at least about real estate. I'm going to get me 2 appointments a week. Go ahead and write this down, put a whiteboard at your house, okay? And monitor every day, come home. All right, how many guys did I walk to? And just write it down. It's going to be a visual for you, and it's going to be a coach for you. And it's going to be there every day. And you just keep up with it on a daily basis. We do it here at our office. Every day, we let the OP know, okay, this is where we're at. This is how many listings the company's got at this point. This is how many agents we have at this point. We do that every day. I take a picture of that and send it to the OP. So do it yourself, and then you're going to get 2 listings a month, and you're going to have 2 closings a month. So go ahead and make it your goal. And I mean, sometimes we don't meet our goals, right? But it motivates us to do better the next time. So we're gonna supply. Look, if you have questions, if you need help, whether it be with smart plans, whether it be how to put a listing in, is it how to do command. You got us 4 or 5, myself, Jen, Jamie, Melissa. Is everybody familiar with these folks? Danita on the broker side. I mean, we're a phone call away. We want to help you. We want you to have this outstanding career in real estate. We want y'all to make, I tell you, folks, we got people not far from making $1 million a year in GCI that came out of the server industry down at the beach. Okay, so there's nobody on this call that's not capable of doing this, okay? You do not have to be a rocket science to do this. I know because I did it. And we want to be available and help you do this, okay? We want you to go on vacations. We want you to drive fine cars. We want you to do, you know, whatever you do with your money. And everybody needs money. And if you don't want it, you can help somebody else with your money. That's the beauty of it, okay? Jen, do you have anything else? I can't. You're muted. You're muted.
I think I mentioned it a minute ago, just in my tooling around, I found a great mastermind where they had a highly successful dual agent, you know, talk with this market center. And if y'all are interested, I will try to get some successful dual career agents to Zoom in like one evening around 6 o'clock or so. Like I said, I learned a lot. I'm going to send y'all this link. It's probably an hour on YouTube. I mean, if you can only, you know, listen to it or watch it 30 minutes at a time, do it. I'm going to send y'all my notes that went with it. I know some people are kind of scared to, you know, talk real estate, but don't be. And if you know, come up with a mantra or some positive affirmation to tell yourself every morning, you know, build confidence in yourself just to talk real estate, because you know, some people just are scared at first. But the other big thing is, you know, they don't know what to say. So in my notes, you'll see it. It's called the Ford Script for Conversation. It's where you talk about family, occupation, recreation, dreams. And when you build conversations around the script, it shows people that you care, and that's going to build a lasting relationship with them, because, you know, the way that you touch people, people remember that. And if you're calling to check on your clients or you're texting them, hey, you know, just wanted to say, hey, you've been on my mind, hope all is well. They're going to remember that. And that's going to, you know, that's going to bring you business. And then, you know, like that guy, like, I can't remember his name for the mastermind that I'm going to send y'all, you know, take a chance. Don't even think about it. Just get up and do it. Don't be afraid of failure, because you're all going to succeed. It might just take, you know, you might just have to do something different to succeed, but you are going to succeed.
I'll tell you what, guys, you know, what I found out, you know, it took me a long time, is most people don't know a lot about real estate. You could sit there and tell them anything you want to, and they would probably just, you know, not that you want to do it this way. You definitely want to become the master. You want to be a master of real estate. You want to know how these houses pay for over here, how much they're paying for in Lake Forest. You want to be the expert, and that takes very little effort or time to learn. You know, for me, it did. But I was always afraid that I wasn't going to be able to communicate that knowledge over to somebody else in a way that didn't make me appear pushy. Okay. Mm-hmm. So people have this fear, you know, of approaching people and not, you know, don't want to appear, you know, because quite frankly, I don't really like salespeople, you know, and so I just figure everybody else just don't really care for them either. And you're going to come across people like that. But I have very few bad experiences, you know, approaching people, you know, about helping them. And you have to look at it from a viewpoint of adding value, okay? Because you just don't understand how important we are, okay? We've cornered 80% of the market. We are 80% responsible for people in home ownership, okay? Because of real estate agents. I mean, the statistics bear it out. And it's one of the most important industries in our country, because without the real estate industry, we would be in depression. You know what? Do you know how many industries are involved in housing? You're talking about appliances, furniture, heating, cooling. I mean, you could just go on and on. It's very vital to our economy, okay? And you're playing a very big part of it. So you gotta get up and take that approach if you take that approach, we're not used car salespeople, okay? We're major contributors to our economy. So if that helps and you need to take that approach, and it's a very viable, very viable approach, it'll make it easier on you. But go ahead, Tamara.
So I have kind of like a real question about, Jen and Carson, if you can help, maybe I'm not the only one who has the problem. It's kind of to juggle the real estate with my job and maybe with the number of hours a day that we do not sleep actually. And so this is where I'm struggling with, I have a lead, for example, and I'm in the middle of work, and now I know they are calling me, and now I need to right away, because we all know that if we don't pick up the phone, some other agent is going to pick up the phone.
Right.
Now, I have a hard time to really kind of juggle my job and the real estate, and and I feel that I need to give 150% to that person who called me right now, but I know my boss is also expecting me to give 150% at my job. And I know that sounds like Tamara, you need to make the decision and where you want to go. And I understand, but if you guys could, and maybe you come across those videos like Jen was saying about the time blocking, so that would be very helpful, or just kind of like weigh in on, okay, Tamara, you don't have to do everything just because somebody tells you to send them the available homes. You don't have to do that right this minute, but I do have I think I do, because I think that's how I win the client, because they might have another 5 agents that are trying to get some information to them. And even though I ask always my leads, hey, just want to make sure, are you working with another agent or not? I don't want to be stepping on anyone's toes. So I kind of like a pre-screen them already, because if they are working with another 2 or 3 agents and they are just calling me to get another resource, I tell them right now, because I can, I tell them, I'm sorry, I don't want to be stepping on anyone's toes. It is best. I don't want to get into a war with another agent. So, but at the same time, like, I really want to give them like 150% of my time. And I kind of have a hard time with prioritizing what should I do first.
Yeah. First of all, well, you're talking about the situation where you're worrying about another agency, another agent. One of my first questions would always be, are you an agency with another agent? That's where they sit down, they actually sign a buyer's agreement. And if they're not, they're game, okay? Because they've worked with another agent does not make them property of another agent, okay? So, that's simply solved. First question, look, you're not an agency with another agent, are you? And if they say, yeah, you go, okay, well, you really need to work with your other agent. And that's very professional, and they're going to think you're very professional because you did that. Now, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're getting phone calls just while you're working, I would come up with some just short text that you have like in your notepad on your phone, to where you can just copy and paste it and just say, hey, I'm so sorry that I can't take your call at this minute. I'm working with a client. I will, respond back, ASAP. And that way, you're not just throwing them out to the wind.
And to add to what Jen just said, I actually ended up just doing that. And that's how I got this recent listing. Was someone had called me while I was at work, and I had what she just said in my notes, sent the text over, and they said, awesome, can you give me a call in the next few hours? And I said, yep, I can do that for you. So I was still able to keep that lead without her going and contacting another agent.
You'll find that a lot of people will honor, if you just say, hey, look, I'll get back with you at lunchtime. But, most people will honor that situation. Tamara, I'm just curious, since you work with Milan, don't you just throw that stuff his way?
No. So what we actually ended up doing, and that may actually help, y'all too. We just found, because my situation is a little bit different. We have this, Milan built the website for New Homes PensacolaFL.com, which is a resource for any new construction buyers. And so we getting a lot of leads from that. And so I am kind of stretched thin right now. And you know, I'm doing Milan's paperwork. He is more like a land guy. He doesn't want to have anything to do with residential. So I'm helping him with stuff. And then I have those leads coming at me. And that's where I get very overwhelmed, because it's just constant. And so we just met a girl in Pensacola, an agent who is now helping me with those leads, so I can kind of like forward those leads onto her. And so we don't have a team per se, but she is helping us out with this, which is like a huge relief for me.
Right.
But, yeah.
Well, you know,
I could help you out too, Tamara, if you wanted to. I could help you out. Trust me.
Okay. All right.
Well, you know, once those leads, you know, start generating enough income, you to probably go that route. You know, given that you stay in your current career, and I don't know what your situation is or why, you know, what's the number that, you know, that everybody's got to figure out what's the number that's going to get me to leave the, you know, this dual career situation. Me personally, I think everybody ought to like just go ahead and decide and say, look, by the end of the year, I'm going to be selling real estate for a living, you know? And basically that's what it comes down. Every situation, every dual career situation I've ever seen, that's what it ultimately comes down to. So, you know, maybe the first thing you need to do, we can talk about all this, is kind of figure out, okay, here's my goal. My goal is to be out of a dual career situation by the end of the year. Okay. And this is how I'm going to do it. Okay. So you sound like you got a great problem to have there, Tamara, where you got so many leads. All these people would love to have that problem. And so I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like if you're kind of having that kind of problem, everybody else has got to figure out how to generate leads. It's all about lead generation, guys. And if you're not doing it, you got to do it. You got to figure out what happy way to do lead generation. I think this has been great, guys.
Oh, hey, and one other thing. Do your neighbors know that you're in real estate?
Yes.
Right.
Sign in my.
I mean, yeah.
Does anybody have a sign in their yard? I want to ask about that, because my husband feels it's tacky, and my kids told me that they're moving out if I put a sign in front of them. But does anybody have a sign? I see some people.
Yeah, some people do signs, but you know, especially if you've got like a HOA, maybe a HOA Facebook group, or they do a newsletter or an email.
You can put a sticker on your car.
Contribution, and just, you know, put in, hey, I know this area, you know, who knows the area better than, you know, somebody who lives there. So just, I would put something that was like, you know, are you looking to buy, you know, are you looking to upsize, downsize? You know, let me help you, being that I know this neighborhood so well. Let me be your advocate. So I would come up with something to share with my neighbors. Maybe not necessarily a sign.
Jennifer, I have a suggestion, and I don't know. So there is this Nextdoor app, and kind of in our neighborhood, the other agencies are kind of beating us because their agency actually signed up with the Nextdoor already, so they can actually advertise their homes on it. So I was wondering if that is something that Keller Williams would be looking into doing, because the Nextdoor, you can do it now.
You can do it now. And actually, speaking of next door, for like those monthly neighborhood campaigns, the monthly smart plans, it's based off of the next door neighborhood. So when you set somebody up on that monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan, you're choosing neighborhoods from next door. And you can definitely advertise in there now. I know I've seen some of my Orange Beach agents show up on my Orange Beach next door.
Okay. I have to look into it. I know I can advertise on it as like a real estate agent, but there is like a special real estate section in the next door where the MLS listings from the other agencies are showing up, because the agency, I believe they have some kind of a relationship with the next door. So
And
they're like in front of everybody else.
KW should as well. So let me look for that.
Okay.
Okay, the last thing I would say, guys, is, you know, be the driver on social media, okay? Don't be a responder, be a driver, be an influencer. Just don't go through and flip through Facebook and respond. You know, you drive the conversation and get people to like you as much as possible. Whenever your family, friends, co-workers, okay? Because there's a big, you know, if you've got to have a Facebook, you know, in social media existence, and if you don't, you're really missing the ball. And it's an easy way, and it's a really easy way to leverage, you know, exposure. It's just one part of it. This has absolutely been fabulous, guys. It's probably have been the best agent discussion we've had in a while, and that includes with the full, you know. With the people that do this full time.
I'm about to shoot y'all out an email just with a couple things covering data bank. I'm going to link y'all to that mastermind I watch. I'm even going to, I've attached my notes to a PDF that should help you with, you know, just some of the stuff that we've talked about. And like I said, if there's anything that I can do for you in your business, you know, let me know. Call me, email me. We can set up an appointment. Y'all, I know y'all work during the day. I'm more than happy to meet you after hours. If you don't let me know a little bit ahead of time.
Jen, Larry's got a question for you.
I have a database in Excel. Is that something that, I don't know if the format is going to work, because I know there's.
Oh, it should. We may just have to copy and paste it, but that shouldn't be a problem because this CSV file is an Excel spreadsheet.
Right.
So, yeah, it should work fine.
Okay, guys, y'all have a great day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was very helpful.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good
Yeah.
weekend.
You
Bye.
too.